Women over the age of 40 have long faced workplace discrimination, but a new study reveals that younger female employees don't necessarily have it that much better.
A new CBS News.com article breaks down the study published in the Harvard Business Review. It found that women of all ages face different biases that can deter their career, finances, and mental health. CBS MoneyWatch Associate Managing Editor Aimee Picchi is the author of that article, and she joins us now. Aimee, welcome. This is one of those studies in reading it that seems to confirm, I think, what some women have suspected for a very long time. First of all, tell us how age plays a role in the different types of workplace gender discrimination.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we all know that ageism impacts older workers or many older workers, but this study was kind of alarming in that it looked at women of all ages and found that ageism really affects women no matter how old they are. Even young and middle-aged women face this bias. And basically what happens is there's really no right age, quote, right age for a woman to take on leadership roles. So for instance, when women are young, they face questions about their competence and their leadership skills. Researchers found that many encountered what they call role incredulity, meaning that other people assume they were in lower status jobs. Take an attorney, a woman attorney, she might be assumed to be a paralegal or a court reporter, not an attorney. And they're often then overlooked for leadership roles because they're not assumed to be competent or have those leadership skills that men of the same age would be assumed to have. Middle-aged women, for their part, were assumed to have too many domestic constraints, childcare, elder care, and older women were facing the classic discrimination of older workers. Although men often the same age are viewed as leaders, women who are older, say over 60, are viewed as maybe dispensable in the workplace in the worst cases. So that really is a double whammy for women of all ages.
It's really depressing hearing you say all of this, Aimee. But I like that you're shining a light on the impact of ageism on women at all these different levels. We have long known that women face discrimination that has a financial impact. What does your research into this teach us about the financial impacts at each of these different stages of life?
It's interesting because of this ageism, especially at the younger age, could actually explain why women have such a hard time getting ahead. Only 1 in 4 C-suite roles, C-level, chief executive, chief financial officer, are held by women. And it could be due to this age bias that women aren't getting that bump up when they're younger. And what happens is when women aren't getting promoted into these higher paying roles, they really suffer in pay and they suffer in their ability to save for retirement. And we know there's new research out that shows that men have 50% more in their retirement savings than women. So, this really has a real world impact on the woman's ability to save and save for retirement. And of course, women live a lot longer on average than men, so they actually need to save more. And it also is a detriment to the U.S. economy. And the entry of women into the workforce in the last half century has really driven economic growth. So if women aren't achieving their full potential, that really hampers the whole U.S. economy.
I mean, Aimee, are there ways to address and improve this on a wider level? Because it is incredibly sobering to read your piece breaking down this study. Younger women, you write, and those who appeared younger were given pet names, patted on the head, and faced role incredulity, with others mistaking them for interns, trainees, administrative assistants, or other paralegals. I mean, when you encounter this kind of systemic bias, really is what it appears to be based on the results of this survey, one would think that there need to be some broader structural changes to address this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I talked to the researchers about this and they said, women can come together, all ages, and kind of work together to address it. But it can't be based on women's reaction alone. I mean, there has to be, as you say, a broader reaction or a way to address this. And, that probably has to come from corporations. DEI initiatives on diversity, equity, and inclusion focus on race and gender, but it doesn't typically look at age as well. So that's one way to address it. Another way is to make sure when people are up for hiring or for promotion, that they're really looking at skills. They're not looking at a person's age, especially when it comes to women. So, that's another way is like the processes that could be impacted through human resources, through corporations. So, it's not, women can't fix this. It has to be, as you say, like a broader approach to looking at this and dealing with this.
It's like a messed up Goldilocks, too young, too old, and never just right.
That's
All
right.
right, Aimee Picchi, thank you.
Thanks for having me on.